In economics, if I can go back to my college classes, we call it opportunity cost. Every dollar spent is a lost opportunity. So every time you spend a dollar, you're saying that this expenditure is more important to me than my goals. I'll never forget, I was doing a presentation to a big group, and we were talking about this, and one woman raised her hand and she said, you know what, I'm paycheck to paycheck. I don't have any extra money. And there's no way I can create this emergency savings account that you're saying is so important and that you want me to do. And I told her, I said, you know what, I couldn't really argue in this setting. I said, you know what, sometimes that happens. But then during the break I noticed she was outside smoking. So I couldn't help myself. When she came back in and sat down, I said to her, you know, ma'am, I just wanted to mention that I saw you were smoking during the break. I know you said you couldn't have a savings account. And she said, well, no one's going to tell me I can't smoke. That's one of the things I enjoy in life. And I told her, I'm not going to tell you you can't smoke. I'm not going to tell you you shouldn't smoke. But what you are saying is that smoking is more important to you than having an emergency savings account. Because if you're spending $5 a day on cigarettes, that's $1,800 a year. So a year from now, you could have almost $2,000. 5 years from now, almost $10,000. But you're making a decision that smoking is more important to you than having that savings account. So don't play games with yourself. Don't fool yourself. If you're saying, you know what, I can't meet these goals are too far away, it starts slow. It's like many good things. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and say, hey, I'm going to start implementing these changes and next week have $10,000 in savings. That's not how it works. But you start slow. You make some of these changes. And it's not about being restrictive. Too often we're talking about finance, we're thinking, oh, it's restrictive. I can't do this, I can't do that. Remember, when we started this, I said the key is making your money do for you what you want to have it do. So if you want those goals that you listed, that can happen. But you have to make some changes to make that happen. Now, it may be only saving $5 a day. It may be saving more than that. It may be cutting out cable TV. It may be doing this. It may be doing that. There's lots of things you can take. You have to look at your own individual family and see what changes can be made. As I said earlier, it's discretionary spending. Where is our money going and what's important to us and what are our goals? When we're looking at the budgets, or the spending plans, what we talk a lot about is wants versus needs. And sometimes they intersect with each other. So, we all need housing. We can't live outside, we need housing. But where do we live? How luxurious does our home need to be? Now we're starting to get into wants. We don't need to have a brand new car. We don't need to have designer clothes. So where do we start balancing our wants versus our needs versus the goals you outlined? Now remember, you came up with specifically what you wanted to do, what your goals were. The question is, are you willing to take the tough steps to make your goals a reality? I think you can.